The worst mistake a woman can make is waiting for a man to realize her worth. Yet, here you are, still waiting, still crying, still replaying every moment in your head, wondering what you did wrong and why he chose her over you. But let me ask you something. When has a man ever truly changed his mind because a woman sat there and suffered? When has a man ever suddenly realized, oh no, I made a mistake, and come back on his knees, ready to worship you? Never. Because men don't regret what they think they can replace. Press the like button and subscribe, because today I am giving you something no one else will. The truth. The truth that will shake you awake. The truth that will burn through every lie you've been telling yourself. The man who walked away from you is not confused. He is not just scared of commitment. He made a choice, and that choice was not you. Welcome back to the channel, and if this is your first time here, buckle up, because this is where your illusions die. This is where you stop living in a fantasy where love conquers all and step into reality. A reality where men do not value what they do not fear losing. A reality where men do not change for the woman they take for granted. A reality where he did not pick you, not because you weren't enough, but because you were always too available. You don't believe me? Let me put it this way. Have you ever walked into a store and seen a clearance rack? You glance at it, maybe pick something up, but you don't really care about it. Why? Because it's there. It's always there. It's cheap. It's available. It's replaceable. But walk into that same store and see something locked behind glass. Something with a price tag so high that only a few can afford it. Suddenly, you want it. Suddenly, it's valuable. That's how men think. And you were the clearance rack. You gave him everything for nothing. You were patient, understanding, loving. You forgave his mistakes. You overlooked the red flags. You waited. You waited for him to wake up and realize that you were the one. But he didn't. He walked away like you were nothing, and you let him. You sat there and let yourself believe that maybe, just maybe, if you had done something different, if you had loved him harder, if you had just been more, he would have stayed. I had a woman come to me once, heartbroken. She had been with a man for 6 years, 6 years of waiting, forgiving, hoping. He always had excuses. He wasn't ready. He needed space. He was going through things. And she believed him. She believed that one day he would see how much she loved him. Then one day, out of nowhere, he was engaged. Not to her, but to another woman, a woman he had only been dating for a year. She called me crying, asking, why? Why did he choose her over me? And I told her the truth, because she never gave him the chance to take her for granted. You see, men don't commit to the woman who gives them endless chances. They commit to the woman they fear losing. They commit to the woman who demands more, who values herself more, who makes it clear that she will not settle for crumbs. The woman who left after the first sign of disrespect. The woman who did not tolerate half-love. The woman who walked away instead of waiting. She is the one he chooses. And you still think he's special. You still think he's different. You still think that if you just hold on a little longer, if you just prove yourself one more time, he will come back. But let me tell you something, and I need you to hear me. He is not special. You just made him that way in your mind. Society has lied to you. They told you that love means sacrifice, that a good woman waits, that if you just stay loyal, if you just hold on, if you just keep loving him through the pain, he will eventually see your worth. But let me ask you, when has that ever worked? Look around. How many women do you know who wasted their best years waiting for a man to choose them? How many women gave everything only to be replaced by someone who demanded more from the start? So I'm telling you right now, you either wake up or you keep wasting your time. You either become the woman who walks away, or you become the woman who sits there waiting, watching him build a life with someone else. Drop it in the comments. I refuse to be a second choice. Say it. Show him. Show yourself. Show the universe that today is the day you finally get it. Because what's coming next? I'm about to teach you how to make sure he regrets the day he ever thought he could replace you. And trust me, my dear, he will feel it. Number 1, the brutal truth. He never feared losing you. A man never values what he thinks he can always have. And yet, here you are, waiting, crying, torturing yourself over a man who never feared losing you. A man who walked away, picked someone else, and didn't even hesitate. Did he beg for you? Did he fight for you? Did he show up at your door, desperate to make things right? Number. He discarded you like yesterday's news. And now you sit here, playing every moment, convincing yourself that love means suffering. But let me ask you, where is his suffering? Press the like button and subscribe, because today I am shattering every lie you've been told about love. The fairy tales, the patience, the waiting, it's all a scam. And if you don't wake up now, you will waste years of your life waiting for a man who never even considered you irreplaceable. Welcome back to the channel. And if this is your first time here, buckle up, because today I am not here to make you feel better. I am here to make you see the truth you've been avoiding, see the reality you've been blind to. You think he left because she's better than you. You think he walked away because you weren't enough. But let me tell you something. Men do not leave what they are afraid to lose. Men do not walk away from something valuable unless they think they can find it somewhere else. And he thought he could find you somewhere else because you gave everything without him having to earn it. Think about this. If a store started giving away diamonds for free, do you think people would fight for them? No, because there's no cost, no effort, no value attached. But put that same diamond behind glass with a price tag that only the highest bidder can afford. Now everyone wants it. Now it has value. You, my dear, were the free diamond. You poured your love, your energy, your loyalty into a man who never had to work for it. And because he never had to earn it, he never feared losing it. I once spoke to a woman who had spent 5 years waiting for a man to commit to her. She did everything. She loved him unconditionally. She supported him through his struggles. She forgave him every time he let her down. And then one day, out of nowhere, he announced he was engaged. Not to her, but to someone he had been dating for less than a year. She was devastated. She asked me, why? Why her and not me? And I told her the truth. Because she walked away the first time he hesitated. Because she did not give him endless chances. Because she knew her worth and never begged for his love. You still think you were special to him? Then answer this. Why did he choose someone else? Society has lied to you. They told you to be patient, to prove your love, to wait for him to realize your worth. But let me ask you, when has that ever worked? Look around. How many women do you know who wasted their best years waiting for a man to wake up? How many women gave their loyalty to a man who replaced them the second something easier came along? You have 2 choices now. You can sit in this pain, crying over a man who walked away without a second thought, or you can use this pain to fuel your rise. Because let me tell you something. The women who win in life are the women who leave when they are not chosen. Drop it in the comments. I refuse to be a second choice. Say it, own it, show him, show yourself. Show the universe that today is the day you finally understand. Because what's coming next? I'm about to tell you exactly why he never feared losing you and what you need to do right now to change that. So, my dear, let's get one thing straight. He left you for another woman because he knew you would still be there. He knew that no matter what he did, no matter how badly he treated you, no matter how many times he neglected you, you would still be an option. You would still be waiting. He did not fear losing you because you never actually left. Men do not leave women they are afraid to lose. Think about that for a second. Did he hesitate? Did he fight for you? Did he show any fear at the thought of never seeing you again? No, he walked away like you were nothing, and that should tell you everything. You want the truth. You were too easy to have, not because you weren't valuable, but because you didn't make him earn you. Love was never a challenge for him. He never had to chase. He never had to wonder. He never had to work. And when a man does not have to work for something, he does not respect it. Think of it like this. You've seen how people treat a cheap purse, right? They throw it around, leave it on the floor, use it carelessly. But a luxury bag gets locked away, carefully placed in its dust bag, treated like gold. Be the luxury bag. I know it hurts. I know the pain is deep. But let me tell you something. This pain is not a punishment. It is a lesson that you needed to learn. Because if you had gotten what you wanted, if he had chosen you while still taking you for granted, you would have spent your life begging for love that should have been given freely. I had another woman come to me, broken from years of giving her best to a man who never appreciated her. She spent so much time trying to be the perfect woman for him, believing that if she just loved him hard enough, he would finally change. And then, one day, she found out he was sleeping with someone else. She collapsed, shattered by the betrayal. But do you know what hurt her the most? It wasn't losing him. It was realizing that she had lost herself in the process. And that, my dear, is the real tragedy. Not that he left, not that he chose someone else, but that you sacrificed yourself for a man who never deserved it. But here's the good news. You can rise from this. You can take every ounce of pain, every moment of heartbreak, and turn it into power. You can rebuild yourself so strong that by the time he realizes what he lost, you won't even care. Because let me tell you what happens when a woman finally chooses herself. She stops waiting. She stops overgiving. She stops settling for a man who does not worship the ground she walks on. And when she does that, she becomes unreachable. So tell me, are you ready to stop being an option? Are you ready to stop begging for love? Are you ready to rise? Drop it in the comments. I choose myself. Say it. Own it. Let the world hear you. Because what's coming next? I'm about to tell you exactly how to take this pain and turn it into the most powerful transformation of your life. And trust me, my dear, he will feel it. Number 2, stop chasing a man who replaced you like a used toy. So, my dear, let me say this loud and clear. You are not a damn charity. Love is not something you give away for free, like a donation to a man who never earned it. And yet here you are, still hoping, still waiting, still giving your energy to a man who threw you away like you were nothing. Let's be real. He didn't replace you because she's better. He replaced you because she's new. Just like a child who begs for a shiny new toy only to toss it aside the second something else catches their eye. That's him. He's not loyal. He's not deep. He's not special. He's just addicted to the thrill of something new. And you? You're sitting here thinking, if I had done more, if I had loved him harder, if I had been less difficult, he wouldn't have left. Stop it. He did not leave because you weren't enough. He left because he thought you'd always be there. And guess what? If you keep sitting here waiting, crying, stalking his social media and hoping he'll regret it, you're proving him right. Men only regret when they can't have you anymore. Let that sink in. He doesn't miss you. He misses the power he had over you. He misses the comfort of knowing you were always an option. He misses knowing that no matter how badly he treated you, no matter how many lies he told, no matter how many times he chose himself over you, you still would have taken him back. He doesn't regret losing you, not yet. Because as long as you're still watching him, as long as you're still hoping, as long as you're still hurting over him, he knows you haven't really left, and because of that he feels nothing. You want proof? Let me tell you a story. I once spoke to a woman who gave everything to a man who never valued her. She was there for him through his struggles, supported him through his failures, forgave him every time he disappointed her. And then one day, he dumped her out of nowhere. No explanation, no hesitation. And within a week, he was posting pictures with another woman. She was shattered. She asked me, how could he move on so fast? And I told her the truth, because he never feared losing her in the first place. He knew she'd always be there. He knew she loved him too much to truly walk away. So he didn't feel the loss, not yet. But then something changed. She stopped waiting. She stopped crying. She stopped hoping. She disappeared. She deleted his number, blocked him everywhere, and started living her life as if he never existed. And guess what? Months later, there he was in her DMs, sending weak, pathetic texts like, "Hey, how have you been? And I've been thinking about you a lot." Suddenly he was curious. Suddenly he missed her. Suddenly he wanted to know if she had moved on. But did he come back because he loved her? Number. He came back because she was no longer an option. That's how men work. They do not process loss in real time. Women feel the pain immediately when he leaves, when he starts acting distant, when he stops choosing you. You feel it right away. But men don't regret until they realize they can never have you again. So let me ask you, why the hell are you still chasing him? Why are you still thinking about a man who didn't even flinch when he walked away? Why are you still hurting over someone who replaced you overnight like you were nothing? Do you really think he's sitting there missing you? Do you really think he's lying awake at night, regretting what he lost? Let me tell you the truth. He won't feel the loss until you are gone, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, energetically. Right now, he still feels you. He still knows you're watching. He still knows you're hurting. And that gives him power. That keeps him comfortable. But the second he realizes you no longer exist in his world, the second he realizes you have truly moved on, that's when the regret sets in. That's when he starts wondering, has she met someone else? Does she even think about me anymore? Did I actually lose her? And men. They hate uncertainty because they are used to women waiting. They are used to women chasing. They are used to women breaking their own hearts over them. But you are about to break the cycle. You're about to stop being the woman who waits. You're about to stop being the woman who sits in pain, hoping a man chooses her. Because let me tell you something, men do not choose women who wait. They choose women who make themselves irreplaceable. And how do you do that? You stop chasing. You stop hoping. You stop giving a damn about a man who already proved he doesn't give a damn about you. You shift your energy. You put every ounce of love, every ounce of power, every ounce of focus you wasted on him and pour it into yourself. Because the truth is, you never lost him. You lost yourself. And now it's time to get yourself back. Say it with me. I refuse to chase a man who replaced me. Write it in the comments. Say it to yourself. Say it to the universe. Say it until you believe it. Because what's coming next? I'm about to teach you how to disappear in a way that will make him feel your loss like a punch to the gut. And trust me, my dear, he will feel it. Number 3, cut off all contact. No closure, no goodbyes. So, my dear, silence is your weapon, and right now you are not using it. Instead, you are out here trying to explain yourself, trying to make him see what he lost, trying to get him to understand your worth. But let me tell you something, he already knows your worth. He just never thought he would lose it. If you keep reaching out, if you keep looking for closure, if you keep showing him that you're still there, still hoping, still waiting, he will never regret losing you. You think talking will change something. You think if you just send him one last message, if you just pour your heart out, if you just tell him how much he hurt you, he'll suddenly wake up and realize what he lost. No, my dear, you are giving him exactly what he wants. Because as long as you're still talking, he knows he still has a place in your heart. And as long as he knows that, he feels nothing. Men do not regret what they still have access to. Let me say that again. Men do not regret what they still have access to. As long as he can still reach you, as long as he still knows you're thinking about him, as long as he still feels like you haven't truly let go, he does not feel the loss. And that is why you must disappear, not just blocking him, not just ignoring him for a few days and then checking his profile to see what he's up to. No, I'm talking about complete and total silence. You do not explain, you do not beg, you do not give him one last conversation. Because let me tell you the truth, you don't need closure. Closure is an excuse to keep the door open just a little longer. Closure is a lie that makes you think you need his permission to move on. But here's the reality. He gave you your closure the moment he left. He made his decision, and now it's time for you to make yours. You disappear. You go ghost. You erase him like he never existed. And trust me, when a woman disappears completely, a man starts to panic. At first, he'll feel nothing. He'll assume you're still hurting, still watching, still waiting for him to reach out. But then, days pass, then weeks, then months, and suddenly he realizes you are truly gone. And that is when the regret sets in. I once worked with a woman who was stuck in a toxic cycle with a man who never valued her. Every time he left, she would beg for closure. She would write long messages asking him why, trying to make him see how much he had hurt her. And every time, he ignored her. Until one day, she did something different. She blocked him. No explanation, no warning, no goodbye message. She vanished. At first, nothing happened. He went on living his life, thinking she was still out there missing him. But then weeks passed, then months. And then he started showing up. He started calling from random numbers. He started emailing. He started asking mutual friends about her. And then one day, he showed up at her job. Not because he loved her, not because he finally realized she was the one, but because for the first time, he actually felt her absence. And when he saw her, she wasn't the broken woman who had once begged for his love. She was glowing. She was happy. She was completely out of reach. And that's when he lost his mind. That's how you make a man regret losing you. Not by crying, not by explaining, not by hoping he'll come back, but by making sure that by the time he realizes what he lost, he can never have it again. And you? You're still sitting here thinking about sending that last message. You're still sitting here waiting for closure. You still don't get it, do you? You want him to regret you. Then disappear. Do not text him. Do not check his social media. Do not leave the door open for him to creep back in when he gets bored. You owe him nothing. Because here's the truth. He is not sitting around missing you right now. He is not crying over you. He is not struggling to move on. He is enjoying his life, feeling free, knowing that you're still out there hurting. So let's flip the script. Let's make sure that by the time he finally starts wondering about you, by the time he finally feels the silence, by the time he realizes he lost something real, it's too late. Say it with me. I am done explaining myself. Write it in the comments. Say it to yourself. Say it to the universe. Say it until you feel it in your bones. Because what's coming next? I'm about to tell you why his new relationship is not what you think it is. And trust me, my dear, he is not happy. Number 4. The other woman is not winning. So, my dear, you think she won. You think she's better than you. You think she's living your dream. Stop lying to yourself. You thought you were special too, remember? You thought he was different. You thought he would never hurt you, that your love was stronger than anything else. And yet here you are, broken, confused, replaced. And she's just the next one in line, because men don't change overnight. He didn't suddenly become a better man because of her. He didn't wake up one day and think, wow, I should finally be loyal, committed and treat a woman right. No, he's the same. The same liar, the same manipulator, the same man who left you wondering what you did wrong. And guess what? She will be in your position soon enough. Because men like him, they don't build, they don't invest, they use. And when they've drained everything they can from a woman, they move on, just like he did to you. You're sitting here torturing yourself, thinking she must be different, thinking she must be better, thinking she must have something you didn't. She doesn't. She's just new, and new is easy. Let's talk about it in a way you can see. Ever notice how people obsess over a brand new car? The excitement, the fresh smell, the flawless design. It's all so intoxicating at first. But then the payments start rolling in, the maintenance costs appear, the reality of ownership sets in, and suddenly the thrill is gone. That's his new relationship right now. Everything feels new, exciting, effortless. He's showing her his best side, just like he did with you. He's putting in effort, making her feel chosen, making her believe that she's different. But give it time, because once the thrill wears off, once the reality of who he actually is starts showing, she will be just like you, wondering what happened, wondering why he's distant, wondering why the man she thought she had is slowly slipping away. I've seen it happen over and over again. A woman once told me about her ex, who left her after years together. He moved on instantly, flaunting the new girl, acting like he had finally found the one. She was devastated, convinced that she had lost to someone better. But a year later, she got a message from the new girl, a desperate, broken, shattered woman begging for advice because that perfect man. He was cheating, lying, playing games, doing everything to her that he had once done to his ex. Next? She wasn't winning, she was just next. And let me tell you something, the other woman is not your enemy. You think she's your competition, but she's not. She's just another player in the same twisted game. And when she finally realizes what he really is, she will feel exactly what you're feeling now. So what do? Do you sit here stalking their pictures, waiting for their relationship to crumble? Do you hope and pray that she suffers just so you can feel better? Number. You make yourself untouchable. Because let me tell you something, the real revenge isn't watching their relationship fail. It's building yourself into a woman so powerful that by the time he realizes what he lost, you don't even care anymore. Say it with me. I refuse to compete for a man who plays games. Write it in the comments. Say it to yourself. Say it to the universe. Say it until it becomes your truth. Number 5. The ultimate power move. Level up in silence. So my dear, let's get one thing straight. You don't win by making him jealous. You win by making him irrelevant. And yet here you are, still checking his page, still looking at his new girlfriend's pictures, still wondering if he's thinking about you, still playing the damn game. But let me tell you something, real power isn't improving your worth to a man who threw you away. Real power is when his existence no longer matters to you. That's why the most powerful move you will ever make is not revenge, not jealousy, not trying to make him miss you. The most powerful move you will ever make is silence. And I know what you're thinking, but if I post something sexy, won't he notice? If I look like I'm living my best life, won't he come crawling back? Listen to me, you are still thinking like a woman who cares, and that is why you are still losing. Because the woman who truly moves on, the woman who becomes untouchable, she doesn't even check if he's watching, because she's too busy winning to give a damn. You think rich people sit around wondering what their exes are doing? No, They're too busy getting richer, and that's exactly the mindset you need to have. You think Beyoncé is checking her ex's page. You think Rihanna is sitting there hoping an old boyfriend regrets losing her. No, because they are too busy leveling up. They are too busy building lives so powerful, so elevated, so untouchable that their past doesn't even exist to them anymore. And that is exactly what you need to do. I had a woman reach out to me once, completely broken. Her man had left her for someone younger, someone more exciting. She felt like her world had ended. She stopped going out. She stopped taking care of herself. She spent her nights crying, stalking his social media, watching him flaunt his new relationship. But one day, she had enough. She cut him off completely. She blocked him, deleted every picture, erased every memory, and then she poured every ounce of energy she wasted on him into herself. She hit the gym. She started a new career. She surrounded herself with people who actually valued her, and slowly she became a new woman. And then, 3 years later, guess who came crawling back? Guess who sent her a weak, pathetic message saying, "Hey, I've been thinking about you." Him. But by then, she didn't even care, because he was no longer relevant in her world. That is the goal, not to make him regret, not to make him jealous, not to get him back, but to build a life so damn good that his memory doesn't even cross your mind. And yet, you are still sitting here, stalking his page, looking at his new girl, wondering if he's happy. What the hell are you doing? Why are you wasting your time, your energy, your power on a man who already proved he doesn't deserve you? Do you really think he's sitting there obsessing over you the way you obsess over him? He's out living his life while you're stuck in the past. And the only way you break free, the only way you win, is to level up so hard that you don't even recognize the woman who once cried over him. So here's what you're going to do. You are going to erase him from your life completely. You are going to block, delete, unfollow, and detach. Because every time you check his page, every time you scroll through old messages, every time you replay the memories, you're keeping yourself stuck in a chapter that is already over. Then you are going to pour every ounce of energy you wasted on him into yourself. You are going to glow up so hard, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, that the next time he hears your name, it won't be because you're crying over him, it'll be because you're out here winning. Because let me tell you something, the real revenge is not proving him wrong. The real revenge is making him so irrelevant that you don't even care if he was ever right. And when you finally reach that level, that's when he will feel it. Say it with me. I refuse to waste another second on a man who replaced me. Write it in the comments. Say it to yourself. Say it to the universe. Say it until it becomes the truth. Number 6, when he comes back, and he will. So my dear, you think he's gone for good. You think he's out there living his best life, forgetting you ever existed. No, that's not how this works. Oh, he's coming back, but not because he loves you, not because he finally realized your worth, not because he's ready to be the man you always wanted him to be. He's coming back for one reason, and one reason only, to see if he still has access to you. That's it. That's the game. Men always return when they feel your absence, when they suddenly notice the silence, when they look at their phone and realize your name isn't popping up anymore. Because here's the thing, people want what they can't have. And right now, you've been too damn easy to have. He didn't have to fight for you. He didn't have to earn you. He didn't have to fear losing you. And because of that, he never valued you. But now he's realizing that something is missing. Now he's feeling a shift. Now he's wondering if you've moved on, and that's what makes him panic. I once heard a story about a woman who spent years in a cycle with a man who never truly committed to her. He would leave, disappear for months, and then just when she was starting to move on, boom. There he was, a random text, a casual, "Hey, how have you been?" like nothing ever happened. And every single time she took him back, she thought, maybe this time he's serious. Maybe this time he's changed. Maybe this time he really does miss me. But do you know what actually happened? The second he knew she was still there, the second she replied, entertained him, gave him even a little bit of her attention, he disappeared again. Because he never came back for her. He came back for his ego. He came back because he was bored. He came back to make sure she was still emotionally trapped. And that's what your ex is about to do. So let me ask you something. Are you really about to let him pull the same trick on you? Are you really about to fall for the same tired game? You better not answer that message, or else you just prove to him that you never actually left. And that's all he wants to know, because if you respond, even with just a simple, "Hey," you tell him he still has you. You tell him he can come and go as he pleases. You tell him you were waiting. And the second he knows that, the second he feels that control again, he loses all regret. He stops missing you. He stops wondering, because now he knows you were never really gone. And he will disappear again, and the cycle repeats again, until one day you wake up and realize you've wasted years of your life on a man who was never afraid to lose you in the first place. So let me say this loud and clear. When he comes back, and he will, you do not respond. You do not give him closure. You do not give him another chance. You do not give him the satisfaction of knowing you still care. You let him sit in the silence. You let him feel your loss the way you felt his. You let him regret. And when he finally realizes what he lost, when he finally starts panicking, when he finally wants you back for real, it will be too damn late. Because by then, you will have moved on. So say it with me. I refuse to be recycled. Write it in the comments. Say it to yourself. Say it to the universe. Say it until it becomes a part of you. Number 7. Never let him have access to you again. You don't take back a man who didn't choose you the first time. Read that again. Let it sink in. He had his chance, and he threw it away. So why, my dear, are you even considering letting him back in? Why are you sitting there waiting for a man who already proved that he could walk away from you without hesitation? Men do not respect women who let them back in, period. You think he's changed? He's had some grand realization about your worth? No, he's back because something else didn't work out. He's back because his new toy lost its shine. He's back because he wants to see if you're still dumb enough to open the door. Let me put it this way. If you return a product to a store, would you expect it to be worth more the second time? No, it's damaged goods now. It's been rejected. That's exactly how he sees you if you take him back. Not more valuable, less. I once knew a woman who let her ex come back after he replaced her. He whispered all the right words, played all the right games, told her everything she had been waiting to hear. And for a moment she believed him. For a moment she thought she had won. But then he did it again. And this time he didn't even pretend to feel bad about it. Do not make the same mistake. Once he's gone forever. Say it with me. I am not a second chance. Write it in the comments. Say it to yourself. Say it to the universe. Because now we make sure no man ever plays you again. Number 8. The final move. Become a woman no man can play. So my dear, this is it. The final move. The moment you stop being the woman men take for granted and start being the woman they fear losing. Because let's be honest, you've let them play you for far too long. You've given your love away like it was free. You've tolerated disrespect. You've forgiven what should have been unforgivable. And for what? For a man who never even saw your worth? For a man who replaced you that he got bored? No more. You don't win by making him jealous. You don't win by trying to prove your worth. You win by becoming untouchable. You think rich men care about their exes? No, They're too busy getting richer. You think high-value women waste time crying over a man who didn't choose them? No. They build a life so damn good that by the time he realizes what he lost, he can't even reach her. And that's exactly who you are going to become. A woman no man can play, no man can break, no man can ever take for granted again. A woman who walks away once and never looks back. So say it with me: I am untouchable. Write it in the comments. Say it to yourself. Say it to the universe. Say it until it becomes your reality. Because what's coming next? I'm about to show you how to make him regret the day he ever thought he could play you. And trust me, my dear, he will feel it. So, my dear, this is your moment. The moment you stop chasing, stop begging, stop waiting for a man to see your worth. Because the truth is, he never deserved you. And by the time he realizes what he lost, you'll be too far ahead to care. Rise. Focus on yourself. Become so powerful that no man ever dares to play you again. And if you're ready to level up, subscribe. Share this with a woman who needs to hear it. And remember, the woman who walks away always wins.